The worst case scenario for Jayson Tatum, what his ruptured Achilles tendon means, the future for him and the Celtics. Plus, there's still a game 5 to be played. I'll give my rallying cry right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beam down, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back, if I say it, it's stamped. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT Karalis, recap the madness every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Plus like Drew to KP, tap in daily. Primetime dapping D White on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and I got you covered every Monday through Friday, plus bonus podcasts if they play on the weekends. They may not play on the weekends for a while, but I'll do it if they do. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. It's free. It's available everywhere. It's on YouTube. You can watch it there. I'd love to see you in that comment section. I'm John Karalis. I'm covering the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. And I've been covering the team for about 20 years now. And this is a tough one. This is a tough news day for the Celtics. You know, Celtics history has a lot of defending champions or championship hopefuls who suffer tough, really just devastating injuries. And this is one. Our worst fears were confirmed with Jayson Tatum suffering a ruptured Achilles. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about what's next. And in the third segment, I'm totally going to channel my inner competitor, my inner former player, and total rallying cry for Game 5. Objectivity goes out the window. Game 5 is my mindset if I'm in that Celtics locker room. So that's later. Right now, it's Jayson Tatum who had surgery on the ruptured Achilles tendon. We were waiting all day Tuesday. I was traveling from New York back home and waiting to see if that news was going to drop, and it dropped very late in the day. And everybody's speculating why. And the reason kind of ends up being because Tatum was in surgery, and they wanted to give the update after the surgery was over. Successful surgery, according to Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe. The surgery was done right away because that tends to yield the best results. Achilles surgeries, recoveries tend to have some pitfalls along the way. And so getting this done, giving it the best chance of full recovery and the fewest setbacks, this was the way they wanted to go. And so the good news is surgery is done. It seemed to go well, successful, full recovery, all of that stuff is what they said. So what's that mean for Jayson Tatum? Well, it's going to be a long road, right? It happens. He had surgery now on May 13th. What the absolute best case, nothing goes wrong scenario is Tatum is 27 years old. He's in phenomenal shape. He is a tireless worker. He hits every one of his marks right away and as soon as possible, right? After an Achilles surgery, there's a 2 to 4 week window of when do you start moving and like just light pressure on, with a boot and crutches. Tatum would have to start at 2 weeks. That 4 to 6 or 8 week window of walking without the crutches, gingerly with the boot on, Tatum would have to start that at 4 weeks. Every one of these stages, walking with the boot, walking without the boot, starting to do light work, your rehab, your, working with the bands, doing a little bit of light jogging, whatever those milestones are, Tatum in the best case scenario has to hit them all at the earliest point. There is a non-zero chance that Tatum, in the ultimate best case scenario, still makes it back December-ish, which would be 7 months. Okay, it's May 13th, 7 months from now. I've been saying the holidays, kind of almost like Kristaps Porzingis, coming back Christmas-ish. Best case scenario. Now, best case scenarios rarely happen. But again, Tatum is 27. He is in phenomenal shape. He is in absolute peak condition, peak healing powers, peak everything. It's not out of the question. And also, by the way, one of the world's elite athletes with the power of an NBA franchise and his own multi-million dollar bankroll to put every bit of anything possible behind this recovery. So you have the likely scenario, but there is a world where in his prime, mega athlete, mega fit Jayson Tatum heals faster than a normal human being, right? And I'm thinking about these instances when I think it was like Bobby Hurley. Remember Bobby Hurley got into, I think it was a motorcycle accident or a car accident. He ended up face down in a ditch, and the doctor said the only reason he even survived that was because he was an elite athlete. Elite athletes have their bodies work slightly differently than ours. You know what I mean? I am now an aging sports writer who eats a breakfast sandwich in the airport. My body is not recovering the same way that Jayson Tatum, 27-year-old with every advantage at his disposal, can heal. So the best case scenario is not out of the question. The more likely scenario, the 7, 8 to 9 month scenario that gets you into January, February. Well, All-Star break is February. Now, you go right around February, maybe you start to get him back, a couple days off, work him back in, take the All-Star break, think about it, feel it out, see what the plan is, and use the rest of the regular season as a ramp up for whatever playoff situation the Celtics are in. That's, I think, the most likely scenario. And I'll talk about what the Celtics could be in next season. I don't want to move too far ahead, but this is where we are right now. I don't think it's out of the question. And there are people who are going to be like, why bother? Why bother? Well, first of all, Tatum's going to want to play. So we all have to accept this. Tatum is going to want to play. And I think it's to his advantage to go through. Obviously, he's going to go through all the rehab. When he's ready to play NBA basketball, he should play NBA basketball. He should come back because you need to get your confidence back. You need to get your wind back. You need to get your feel back. You need to get all of that stuff. And even if the end of the season is a sort of, let's just pretend the Celtics aren't even in the playoff picture. Maybe it doesn't matter if they're in the playoff picture or not. Maybe they are first round exit, second round exit, whatever it is. You got to get Tatum back. The mental part is going to be my biggest worry. The mental aspect of trusting your body. This is like, it's one thing to, Tatum's going to put in that work. He's a tireless worker. I trust him to do every step, every bit of the work to physically be ready to play. If for nothing else, I need to see him back at some point next season just so he can work that confidence back, so he can trust his body. His body betrayed him here. He took a step. He has been durable. He's been damn near indestructible. And he takes this one step and his Achilles pops. And now it's like, oh, damn. My body just gave out on me. He needs to get that confidence back. He needs to be able to step onto a court and play and go through it and forget the injury and play through whatever mental hurdle there is. If there is one, there may not be one, but make no mistake, coming back from a devastating injury, a catastrophic injury, there is a significant mental element to that for a lot of players. Tatum needs to make sure that he is not one of those guys. And so as much as I'm looking forward to him being back at some point next season and some semblance of himself, I think he can come back and be basically Jayson Tatum again. He's too young. I know that this is a tough injury, but he's too good. He's too good to come back and be half of what he's been. I'll explain why I think he can come back and be exactly himself, and we'll talk about what's next for the team when I come back. Today's show is brought to you by Wayfair. This is the time of year where shopping on Wayfair to refresh your house. It's spring, summer's around the corner here. Maybe you're doing a patio. Maybe you're redoing a porch. Maybe you're just kind of refreshing things. Wayfair has everything you need to make it feel more like you. Maybe you're a recent graduate and you're moving into your first apartment. Wayfair's a great place to get those essentials, outdoor essentials to transform any space into your ideal summer setup, or something comfy into that little apartment that you can afford. I've been in all of these situations. I used to live in New York. That little tiny apartments in New York, you need to find a thing that you can afford that fits. Wayfair's got all of that stuff. So whether you're in a tiny little apartment, whether you're, shopping with roommates, or you by yourself, or you with your wife or husband, it's all there. So go shop a very huge selection of outdoor furniture, indoor furniture, everything you want. Great stuff for summer at wayfair.com. We're doing a patio, by the way. So I was going to say you're invited, but it's probably a lot of people. We're doing a patio. Wayfair is going to be one of my first stops. Wayfair. Wayfair. Wayfair.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA Game Night. They got the whole league covered on the NBA, Locked On NBA channel. Game Night's got the games covered. I'm there on Fridays with Jake Madison. These playoff games are nuts. You need somebody to make sense of it. That's what we do over there at Locked On NBA Game Night. So go check that out. 2 podcasts on the Locked On NBA feed. All right, I think Jayson Tatum can still be himself. I think being 27, it's young for an Achilles injury like this. Being 27, I think, and also he's not reliant on his athleticism. This isn't, if this happened to Anthony Edwards, for example, I think it would be like a question of, okay, well, how is he going to be able to, is he still going to be able to dunk on people? Is he going to have that same lift? Tatum is not he's not using his athleticism like crazy. And also he's not I keep saying play off of 2 feet. He's not really a 2-foot jumper. He's a 1-foot jumper. And because he's right-handed, he jumps off of his left foot. So that's not going to be tremendously impacted. It will impact his explosion somewhat, but he, like I said, a 1-foot jumper jumping off your left foot. The right foot's not going to be that's not that big of a deal. So it's not going to impact some of his drives, dunks, that kind of stuff. I think the way he plays, the style that he plays is less reliant on explosiveness. So I think his youth, his fitness, and his game will make it so that I think he's got the best chance out of anybody who could suffer this injury. Tatum's probably got the best chance to come back and be close to or exactly what he was before the injury. Now, what's the team going to be? Now, that's going to be the question. We don't know. And I don't think this changes a lot. The Celtics are not going to react to next year and say, well, we don't have Tatum now. That means blah, blah, blah. This can go, that can go, that can go. It may influence, one decision or two. They may say, well, this guy that we were hoping to keep for maybe one more run, well, next year is not going to be the run without Tatum. So maybe that's how they make a decision, and maybe that influences a move. But I don't think that I was asked online about, do you rip it to the studs, trade everybody, and try to rebuild? I just don't think this is not the time to, I think, throw it all away I think it's going to be a creative summer for Brad Stevens. I can't even conceive of what Brad Stevens is cooking up right now, but we know the team's going to be different. But the team is also probably going to be good, no matter who they keep. They don't have to trade a lot of people, but they have to trade a couple of people. And a couple of things with that. One, I think the guys that they trade, Holiday probably, maybe Porzingis. Well, Porzingis has had probably the most disappointing series here. I think a lot of fans are like, okay, it was fun, Kristaps, but this series in particular has got a lot of emotional reaction. And you can't shake the fact that the Celtics got him for this series especially is a perfect example of why they got him. And if he's not able to produce, and he wasn't really a huge part of last season's run, it's like, well, you do well in the regular season when you're available, but, you know, is it worth it? So there are questions there about who might come back. But at least one of these trades is going to have to return somebody. You're going to have to get players back in at least one of these deals. Maybe one can go into somebody's cap space or exception, or in a multiple team deal, there could be something that works out and it really cuts a lot of salary. But I feel like those moves, Holiday, we're at the tail end of what he's been able to give the Celtics. I think they've gotten most of what they're going to get, and you have to come up with a different plan. Porzingis, you've probably gotten most of what you're going to get, and you have to come up with a different plan for him. If you keep Jaylen, if Jaylen wants to, I assume that I don't know what to assume with that situation, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen because there's going to be a lot of big names moving. So at this point, I think that's a conversation I'm going to have to save for, a 2 or 3 person podcast where we can really talk through Jaylen and what he's going to want. And it really, I think, boils down to what he is going to want. So, and I have no basis, by the way. I'm not saying this as a reporter that I've heard things. I just am at the point where I do question what he's going to want. But obviously, if Jayson is going to be out for at least half or most of next season, maybe Jaylen wants to stick around and be like, okay, let me show you what I can do in Boston, stick around and be the centerpiece of that. Maybe that's appealing to him, and he becomes the centerpiece of the team, and Tatum becomes kind of a supporting piece as he returns from injury. There are a lot of different directions the Celtics can go, but it's still a playoff team, regardless. Whoever they keep, whoever they give up, I think the players that are going to stick around are still a playoff team. Now, where in the playoffs they land obviously depends on a lot of different things. If Giannis gets traded away from Milwaukee, what does that look like? Do they do a deal with Dallas and get the number 1 pick and send Giannis to Dallas and give Dallas a complete win now team? That's entirely possible. So Milwaukee drops out of the playoff mix and somebody else ascends and whatever. Maybe the Celtics just float in the middle there. Cleveland, who knows what happens with Cleveland? Orlando has potential. A lot of these other teams have potential here. Indiana, it's going to be a wild offseason. Regardless, I still think whoever the Celtics keep, that's going to be a playoff team. And when you add Tatum, it's going to be a playoff team that has a puncher's chance. So I wouldn't be surprised if next season, because of everything, the Celtics drop to, 4th seed, maybe. And it would be a tough road. But if you get a 4th seed and Tatum is coming back right around the All-Star break and rounding into form to start the playoffs, this podcast could be about, hey, Tatum and Brown, you got them back together. Tatum's at his full powers. Brown's been awesome all year. And you got this, and that with you. Who knows what the team looks like, but you've got this team together. Maybe they can make a run. So Tatum coming back, whatever the Celtics do next year, I still think there's a reason to bring him back. On top of the mental stuff, top of all that, there may be an actual playoff winning type of thing. And you want to win. You want to make these playoff runs. This is not an all or nothing thing. If you're sitting there saying like, well, we're not going to win a championship, so why bother? Like, no, you go and you play and you hopefully win a series or two. Maybe you make a crazy run. Maybe you become this year's Pacers or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what this year's Pacers are at this point. I'm doing this during the Pacers and Cavs game, which is, it's a 1-point game, back and forth in the fourth quarter. Whatever this year's Pacers become, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going off the rails. There is a reason to bring him back. Whatever's next for the Celtics, I think bringing Tatum back is worth it whenever he comes back. Unless it's a full year and it's the middle of the playoffs, and then at that point, that's not the situation you want to bring him back. That's the only scenario where, they make it out of the first round without him, and he's like ready to go in the second round. I don't know if you want to throw him in that situation. Well, look, whatever it is, I'm talking like this season's over, and it's not. There's still a game 5 to play. And you know what? It's time for me to put on my coach's hat, my captain's hat. It's time for a rallying cry for these guys. That is next. Today's show is brought to you by Car Gurus. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting. It is very exhausting, but those confusing prices, the hidden fees, I know those are overwhelming, but Car Gurus can help you cut through the noise and show you the best deals with full confidence. There's nobody going back, let me go check with my boss with Car Gurus. With over 4 million listings, I hate that part. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more new and used cars than any other major online marketplace in the U.S. They verify dealers, provide real price analysis, and give you the tools and data to make the right choice without second-guessing yourself, which is very easy to do when you're shopping for a car because you don't know who's telling you the truth, who's lying, who's whatever. You need a deal that you can trust, and Car Gurus makes it easy to manage and compare vehicles side by side with unbiased deal ratings. Their best feature is the price drop alert, so you know exactly when the perfect car is available for your budget. Plus, in-depth vehicle details give you peace of mind before stepping onto any lot. It's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. There's a Locked On for every NBA team. So if you want to keep up with another team, if you want to go see what the Knicks are saying, if they're celebrating a little too early, go check it out. The whole league is covered. If you're a football fan, baseball fan, hockey fan, we got you covered everywhere. College fan, the network is extraordinarily large. So go check it out. Everydayers who are with me every Monday through Friday, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, by the way, for being with me every Monday through Friday. Show is free. It's available. Join the Everydayers. I love seeing you all. I hope to see you more than just one more time. And I think the Celtics can do it. The Celtics still have a game 5 here to play, and everybody is acting like this series is over, like the season is over. And I understand why. Okay. I'm turning off objective journalists covering the team from the most unbiased place that I can cover it from. Now I'm in the locker room. Now I'm the team captain or a coach. Everybody's treating this season like it's over. Everybody's showing you, Boston Celtics, everybody's showing you that they don't give a damn about the rest of the players on this team. Jayson Tatum is not the only player. He's the best player, but he's not the only player. They're acting like Jaylen Brown doesn't exist. They're acting like Al Horford doesn't exist. Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. Everybody's acting like that group is just toast. That the Knicks are going to walk into the TD Garden and that group of players is just going to go roll over and die. Now, I get it. They've not played well in these 4 games. They played well once. They actually played well for long stretches of these 4 games, but 2 fourth quarters and a quarter and a half in game 4 just started to fall apart. Okay. So that is enough to throw out everything that you guys have done? Is that how you're going to go out? Jaylen Brown, is that how you're going to go out? This is your opportunity. This is your chance to go out there and show everybody you are the Boston Celtics. You are the champions, plural. Everybody on that team is a champion. Everybody on that team knows how to play basketball. Jaylen was the finals MVP. You've got former All-Stars. You've got all defensive players. Whatever is bothering you, you got to put that aside. You got to find something within you. You got to find that thing that is going to push you for 48 minutes. The Knicks, the freaking Knicks. You're going to let them come into your home floor? You're going to roll over and die because Jayson Tatum got hurt? You think Jayson Tatum will be happy? That dude is sitting there in a hospital bed. He's going to be watching that game. He's going to be devastated, and you're going to show him what you're made of by rolling over and dying and letting the Knicks, letting Karl Anthony Towns just punk you like that? Are you kidding me? Who the hell are you guys? Show them what you have. With Jaylen Brown, you play faster. You move the ball. You actually play at a pace that is better. You can move. You can put them in bad defensive positions. You have a bunch of guys who can score. You don't need Jayson Tatum to score 100 and something points. Now, Jayson can help you score 125. Doesn't mean you can't go out there and score 115, that people can't make up some of the difference. You think just because Jayson Tatum is gone? Yeah, he's your best player. He was having an all-world game in game 4. But you know what? The rest of you guys were letting him down. Don't let him down anymore. Pick him up by winning game 5. Then you worry about game 6. You worry about game 6 after you win game 5. You don't have to win 3 in a row. You have to win one freaking game. You have to win one game. That's game 5. That's Wednesday night. Move the ball. Play fast. Play some defense. Know what the scouting report is. Pay attention. Don't worry about your knee or your illness or anything. You are professionals. You are elite athletes. Put it out of your damn head. Go out there and show Boston, show the NBA, show New York what you're made of. And then after that, we'll worry about the rest. You just worry about game 5. The whole world thinks you are done. The whole NBA thinks you are done. Your obituary is written and ready to publish. You going to let them publish it? It'd be really disappointing. It'd be really disappointing if you guys rolled over and died. It would mean that I was very, very wrong about this team. And I don't think I'm that wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I didn't think it was that wrong. I thought you guys had more heart. Show your heart. You can still win this game. You can still win this series. It's the Knicks. You can beat the Knicks without Jayson Tatum. You can beat who's next without Jayson Tatum. Because you have a deep roster with great players and a great plan. Show your heart. All right. That's my rallying cry. Look, I think this team can put it together, and maybe the loss of Tatum will be enough to get them focused, right? Maybe the loss of Tatum is the thing they need that smacks them in the face and says, okay, we've got to play perfect. And they have that attention to detail. Because even the guys who are left with that attention to detail, they can still win. It doesn't look good. There's no doubt about it. The objective side of me says, of course, you're down 3-1 and you haven't looked good. And if the Knicks get rolling, there's no reason to trust you to look good anymore. So I can't sit there and objectively say that the Celtics are going to win this series. It's 3-1. The Knicks are rolling. They've got a ton of confidence. And I'm sure the betting odds, and rightfully so, are picking the Knicks because the Celtics look lost and they've lost their main guy. But the competitor in me, the basketball player in me, if I'm sitting there and I'm hearing all the stuff that's being said about me, I ain't going out like that. Okay. Jaylen said it the other day. You got to beat us 4 times. Not twice, not once, not 3 times. 4. Right now, it's 3. So do what you can to not make it 4. And we'll see. Maybe my next podcast will be previewing a game 6. And I will go back to New York and Madison Square Garden with its stupid rules, kicking people out, and they think they're so great over there at Madison Square Garden. I'll be happy to go back. I'll be happy to come back here for a game 7. I still have faith that the Celtics can do it, but right now it's more faith than objectivity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on the YouTube page. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't channel that very often, but I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for everything. No matter what happens, I'm here for you. I'm still here Monday through Friday, no matter what happens. So don't think that if the Celtics lose that I'm going away, because I'm not. I'm still 5 days a week. All throughout May, June, July, still 5 days a week. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. Watch the show on YouTube. Get into the comment section. Lots of Knicks fans in there talking their junk. So make sure you're letting them know. Still not done yet. And then share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.